Hi, you guys. Josh Packard. Hey, today I want to talk a little bit more about the need for obedience into God's laws and the Ten Commandments, to be specific. And this isn't for salvation. This isn't for justification, glorification. This isn't for any of that stuff. This isn't for your relationship with God as far as your eternal resting place and your eternal salvation. This is actually to where we can have peace one with another. This is where we can actually rebuild the morals and the characters of our families, our communities, our government, and our world. Okay? This is how we can do it. God has given us this. It's a really pretty straightforward little manual that will tell us how to do it. Okay? Not only that, once we do it, God says that He will fight the battle for us. So we're going to be like this, we're going to have like a little shovel, taking one little scoopful, and God is going to be behind us with this big giant excavator just ripping the dirt out. He's the one that's going to be doing the work. While we do a little bit, He's going to like match us with like 9 gazillion% of effort. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like we're putting on God in His power suit. And as we do a little bit of work, it's really Him massively doing the work. Okay? We can't be defeated anymore. Don't look around in helplessness as this world falls apart. And we're looking at all these things happening, abortion, which is unbelievable. All these marriages falling apart. Everything just seems to be eating shit right now. We can change this today. If you'll start today, not tomorrow, start today. Let's submit ourselves 100% to God's will and His plan. We don't have anything left to do for our salvation. We're done. We're done and done. God has saved us for eternity. But now we need to overcome this world for the sakes of our families and our neighbors, our communities, and our world. Now. Okay? I can't impress upon you enough. Okay. Let's go over the Ten Commandments again. Let's look at them and let's see how we can employ them today and see whether or not even in the Ten Commandments God says He'll bless you or curse you for things. All right, let's check this out. All right, the very first commandment, which is the most important commandment, and people just kind of glide over these. I mean, everyone, when they think of the Ten Commandments, they think you should not steal, you should not commit adultery. Those are the second 5. The first 5 are the most important because they're the ones that keep us in, not put us in because Christ has already done that, but to keep us in that right relationship with God. Okay, when we ever have doubt, when we're looking at a place where we're going, you know what, I just don't feel right today. I feel guilty or something's wrong. Well, if you can't figure it out, go back to the law, look at it, and maybe it'll help you find what's going on. It's like the Lord's Prayer. Jesus showed us how to pray, but not to say the same prayer all the time. Okay, we pray as when we become full-grown Christians. We can pray however we want with God because we got that guideline. And if we think our prayers are ineffective, they're not getting anywhere, then maybe we can go back and revisit the guideline that Christ has set forth. Say this is the direction we need to be praying. Okay, because it says we don't even know what we ought to pray. The Spirit prays for us inside of us because we don't even know what to pray for. So as we develop and we grow in maturity as Christians, these things become more evident. We don't need lists or guidelines, okay? But they're always good to go back to if we forget, okay? Now, the very first one is the utmost commandment. I mean, it is beyond all things. This is the most important commandment there could possibly be, okay? Because this is the one that sets everything right from this standpoint. The first one is, you shall not have any other gods before me. That's pretty cool. And everybody's like, oh, well, that's true. Jesus is my God. I know. Well, it's not that simple. Do you know how you can tell so Satan is an imposter and he deceives the world and he's convinced the world that he is God. People are calling him actively Jesus right now. Satan has deceived so many people. And the scripture said he would deceive the whole world, even the elect if it were possible. But right now, and I'm going to show you right now, and you're going to be shocked, unless you've seen my other videos, but you'll be shocked today as to how you can tell if somebody's serving Satan or how you're serving Satan, how you can tell. Satan's name is the accuser, and what he does is he accuses you, and he points out your flaws and your iniquities. He does all these things because he wants you to do something. So obedient to that would be you would hear his accusation and you would agree with it, or disagree with it, for that matter, and then you would go about to try to be something false. You try to fix yourself, change yourself, become something you're not, in order to please him. Does that make sense? So the way that you can tell that somebody is worshiping Satan is not because they have pentagrams and candles everywhere, or they're sacrificing goats and stuff. It's the fact that they're pretending to be something they're not, that they're beating themselves up and using the power of the flesh in order to fix themselves. This is somebody who has another God before them besides Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true and one God. You've used Satan as actually your God. Okay? Sorry to break that to you, but look around you everywhere and see where Satan is ruling, and you're going to see it's in the church. He says, you shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Okay? This is the second evidence that you are submitted to another God, and namely Satan, is in the fact that because you think you're inadequate and you've heard his accusation and agreed with it, now in order to fix yourself, you've got to find something that you think is more righteous than yourself. Then you need to conform yourself to that righteousness. That thing you made, that's called an image. That's something that you're trying to become because of the accusation you've heard from your God. Okay, it says, you shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. This is a big deal, because hating God isn't going, I hate you, God, you're a dick. That's not hating God. Hating God is not obeying him. You love Satan over God, because God has made it damn clear that he's not accusing you. If you are accused today, you are making images for yourself. You are bowing down to those images and serving them. And you are hating God. And you are reaping the curse right now. That's why you can't sleep. That's why you're tired all the time. Why you don't feel God's presence anymore. That's why you're all worn out and beat. Okay? And then he says that he will visit the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. So this is very important that we submit ourselves to the truth, that we believe Christ. And showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So then we who keep God's commandments, that we acknowledge him as our God, that we have no image before us. We have nothing. We're not bowing down to anything. Well, we love God because we believe him. We believe that there is no way to please him apart from Jesus. So now we can obey his commandments. And this is where I'm coming to the point today, is that we need to obey his commandments so that we can reap the blessing and his mercy now. Okay? Not just us, but by teaching other people to be obedient, they receive the blessings. We corporately receive the blessings and prosperity and peace and health. Don't you guys want to change this shit now? I do. Okay, he says, you shall not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. This is a big deal, because everybody's like, oh, you can't say goddamn, that's taking the Lord's name in vain. No, that's not taking the Lord's name in vain. Taking the Lord's name in vain is saying that you're a Christian, but bowing down to images, and serving the accuser rather than God. Taking his name in vain is saying, yeah, I'm a Christian, yet you still are worried about sin, death, hell. You're still worried about losing your salvation. You're still worried about all this stuff. The only reason you'd even be worried about that is because you're listening to the Accuser. Ding, ding, ding. Look around you. Do you see anybody that's listening to the accuser? Do you see anybody in the church? Oh, how about pastors? How many of those do you think are listening to the accuser? I could go down the list right now of the popular radio preachers that are completely subjected to Satan, that everybody says, oh, I'm of this guy, I'm of that guy. And these guys are just completely false, BS, leading everybody. And everybody's like amening them left and right. And you're like, and I'm sitting there watching them going, really? God, no wonder we're being cursed. Okay, and he says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it you shall not do work, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. For this reason the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Okay, this is a big deal right here. I don't necessarily believe there's an actual specific day that God cares about. It's the spirit of this, that we do need to take time to rest. We need to take time to just have peace. But most of all, Jesus is the Sabbath. By us resting in Jesus, we rest from all of our works, just as God rested from his. You know, if you don't believe me, read Hebrews 4. Okay? This is very important, that we rest. The only way you can rest is if you're not bowing down to images. Taking the Lord's your God's name in vain, that you're in his mercy. That's where you can rest. Okay? But if you're not, you're in his curse, how could you ever rest? You're tired, burnt out, going through the motions at church and never getting anywhere in yourself, and just failing and falling short and hating your existence, thinking that you ought to be a good Christian, and you're not, because you're judging yourself with the wrong stick. But also, this is why most people leave the church, and why most children are leaving the church, because they can't live up to the image that is being expressed for them to try to behave to. They can't. And that's why they're leaving. They're failing and falling short. And that's why they're so pissed off at the church when they leave. Okay? Because none of their parents could. They're just hypocrites pretending they are. And the children see right through it. To the third and fourth generation, you say. Okay, now, then the fifth one. This is the kind of a surprising one, because you'd think that this would be in the horizontal action, because the first 5 are between your relationship with you and God, and the second 5 is your relationship between your fellow man. And if that's the case, because this one could be broken down 6 and 4, but it's probably 5 and 5, and that first 5 are representing this, and this is the one that I fail terribly on, is honoring your mother and father. Okay, and this is something that I think is more to the community, but this also is something that is like a bridge between your relationship with God and your relationship with other people, because your parents are really, they should be, and they're not today, but they're like the representation of God on this earth. And us to have reverence and honor to them means we're submitted to them. It's always submitting yourself to the elder, in the order of things. Your mother and father is above the husband. You know what I mean? It's just, as far as propriety and as far as relationship is concerned, we should always put them and subject ourselves to them, and seeking their welfare and their benefit and their pride and all these things. We want to seek for them to have these things, and that's without question. I mean, we really need to honor our parents, even if they are not worthy of honor, because it's right. Okay, and if your children see you honoring your parents, they're more likely to honor you. I mean, it's pretty simple. He says, and you shall not kill. And everybody's like, oh well, I don't murder anyone. Well, the thing is, let's look at the spirit behind it. What causes murder? What causes these things? Hatred and malice and resentment and all these things. It's a lack of forgiveness. Okay? So we really need to work on forgiving one another, because the end of jealousy and greed and anger and all these things, the end of it, if it went unchecked and if you just kept dwelling on it, it would go right to murder. I mean, it really does. And even Cain killed his own brother. You shall not commit adultery. And everybody's like, well, I don't cheat on my husband or on my wife. Well, that's not what adultery is. It's part of adultery, but that's not what adultery is. Adultery is anything that is outside God's will for sex and intimacy. Sorry, sex outside of marriage is wrong. You know, not saying that you're going to lose your salvation or anything like that, but it's wrong. It's not beneficial for the strength of a society. Okay, so you should marry your girlfriend. If you're going to be with them and you love them enough to have sex with them, marry them. If not, get rid of them. I mean, that's the way it should be. Okay, and I'm sorry because I was guilty of that. I mean, all of us have been. But now that I see the truth, we really need to knock that shit off for the benefit of our children in our society, because your children are watching you. What you do is acceptable to them. Sorry. It's all about becoming, putting yourself under the yoke of the needs of others. Okay. And also adultery is homosexuality, LGBT, being effeminate as a male or being masculine as a woman. All these things, these are wrong in God's eyes. It's not just not just cheating. It's all these things. Everything that is outside of God's will for the marriage and love and intimacy is adultery. Okay, and we need to take a stand against that now. Otherwise, nobody's gonna take you seriously if you're not. I mean, seriously. You should not steal. You should not bear false witness against your neighbor. Those are pretty self-evident. But the last one, the 10th, you should not covet your neighbor's house. You should not covet your neighbor's wife. See, it's not just talking about coveting a wife or whatever. The adultery is not just that. It's more. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And remember, jealousy stems from dissatisfaction. And if the Lord isn't God in heaven, and if he's not supplying everything that you need, not what you want, but he's supplying your needs for his plan for your life, if you're not submitted to that, you can't get along with other people if you're constantly wanting what they have. Okay? Because it'll eat you up, and you can't have good relationship with them. You can't have solid thing, and you're teaching your children to lust and want and to not be satisfied. I mean, today, folks, let's really employ ourselves to these principles. Today, take a stand, men. Serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, which will take away all of your burdens. All of your fears, all of your shame and guilt will be gone. That's all you have to give up. And your hypocrisy and your pretending. You get to stand up and be a man for once. Take this world head on. All right? Wives, you need to get in the Bible. Figure out what it means to be a woman. Submit yourselves to your husband. Not because he deserves it, but because faith dictates it. Because it's good for society. It's good for your children. It's good for everything. Seek his benefit above your own. As he's trying to submit himself to Christ. Allow him to do that. Give him the ability to serve the Lord for your benefit. Because he will reap the blessing for your family by doing it. And your children will be included in this. Children, get your resentment out of your ass and forgive your parents. Right now, forgive them. Let it go. Honor them. Even though they don't deserve it. Do it because faith dictates it. It's your service to God and your fellow man. Just do it. I'm included. I need to do it too. All right? This is important. Okay? Let's turn this crap around. This boat can be turned. We can just employ God. And think of the image of this. Again, think of it. It's like you're putting on God's suit. You ever seen The Matrix when he puts on that mechanical suit and they're fighting with that gun? Well, imagine you're clothing yourself in Christ. And as you put a little bit of effort, the machine does all the work. And this is what God is going to do. It's like an excavator or all these tractors that we're used to. You know what I mean? You just turn your little hands and this big giant claw comes out and just rips up the earth and you're just like, yeah. Well, that's the way God works with us. He says that this is what he'll employ. If we clothe ourselves with him and we go about to establish just a little bit of work, God will go boom and he'll do the hammering. Okay? This is how it's been throughout history. Look at the Exodus, look at Numbers, Deuteronomy, look at these things where Israelites, these weak little sissies, but they try just a little bit, and God does it, brings the victory. Okay? He's promised that to us, people. He's promised us it. If we love him, we will reap his benefits. We will reap his mercy. We'll take this world over. But if you're sacrificing your children to tolerance and to images and bowing down before Satan, and you have no clear path to go and you're not taking a stand, you're going to take the curse, you and your whole family. Sorry, I didn't write the rules. So men, right now, you want to be men? You want to be tough? You want to freaking be a real man? Lay down your life for your family. Lay down your life for your community. Give yourself to God wholly and without reservation today. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful day and really consider this. And let's just start today, all right? I need your help. Your family needs your help. Your community. We need to do this. All right, you guys. God bless you. Have a great day.